Hi guys!
Hey everybody!
Welcome to another Live with Blitsy. I'm here with Katie and we are going to be talking about the Tim Holtz mini distress ink pads.
Yeah, so last week we did some overview of the Brutus Monroe inks, which are awesome, but we also love the Tim Holtz distress inks for some different reasons. So we will walk you through them, answer any questions, and they're all on sale at Blitsy right now, so we'll also leave the links so that you can find them. So, Megan, you've been busy here getting
playing with them.
All, yeah, your hands are all
All
inky. We're going to show they're basically the same as the regular size, but they're minis, right?
Exactly. So everything that you love about the regular distress ink pads from Tim Holtz, you're getting all of that, but in a smaller footprint here with the mini. So it's like the mama and the baby. But what's great about these, like I said, is that they have the same components. So they have that raised felt pad like you have with your regular size distress ink. So you're still getting that feature. So you can go straight to surface with these ink pads, and they're felt. And obviously since they're raised, it's going to make that straight to surface application much easier. But being that they're mini, we also have a tool on sale right now. It's the mini ink blender, which pairs perfectly with these mini ink pads. So what's great about these is they're the perfect size for the little mini ink pads here, and they allow you to nicely kind of blend and add some color to the edges of your paper. And it's really quick, really easy. You just kind of go around your edges there, you blend, and I love this color, by the way.
I was just going to say,
right?
I love that
Isn't
color.
that so pretty? That's the ripe persimmon, which is like so bright and so colorful. So as you can see, I'm just kind of blending there really easily with this mini blending tool. And if I wanted to change colors, that pad comes right off, and it fits perfectly in the bottom of my ink pad there for storage, so I can keep everything together. So every time I want to pull this, I can just, I want to work with my pretty color. I just pop in my tool there, and I have the ink pad ready to, or the blender ready to go. So that's the great thing too, is it perfect size. They fit right inside of that ink pad. So as I mentioned before, you can go direct to surface with this. So I'm going to take this out, and I want to add a little more color to my paper, so I can actually add additional color right there on the edges of my paper. How easy is that? And look at that nice, bright, crisp color I'm getting from this ink pad. And what's also great about these ink pads, which, as I mentioned before, same components, same functionality as the larger ones, is you can blend with them, and it's not going to compromise or ruin your ink. So I can just kind of go in here, blend beautifully with the other colors. Which I'm loving this color too. It's a really pretty kind of pink color. I'm going to add a little bit of the squeezed lemonade to this.
I'm loving your color choices
blending
today.
Right? It's summertime. You got to blend. Got to add some pops of color. So yeah, you can see I'm just kind of blending all my colors together here, and nothing's, there's no harsh lines. It's a nice, smooth blend. And since these are distress inks, they are reactive with water, which is one of the many components that people love about this ink, is that you can use it with water, which is super cool because they're a water-based permanent ink. So, all right, so I'm going to go ahead and put my fingers in my water here. I'm going to just kind of flick some water droplets onto my paper and kind of show you the reaction to the water. Just my fingers, no fancy tools here. So I'm going to flick that, and then I'm going to take my paper towel and just kind of dab that water off. And look how cool. It leaves a really cool effect because it's reacting with that water. So you can create really cool backgrounds with this ink with just dolloping some water. However, you can also use it to actually watercolor. So you can grab your water brush, and you can actually, let me get my acrylic block here, add it directly to your acrylic block, dip your paintbrush in some water, or I have actually a water brush here, blend it into the color, and you can watercolor like you would with any other watercolor paints. So lots of really cool effects. I mean, watercolor is such a huge, huge trend right now, and the fact that you can use these inks to watercolor, and the fact they come in so many pretty colors, is like a game changer if you ask me, right? Like, grab these inks, color on all of your surfaces with some watercolor, and add a pop of bright, fresh color. So
I love that they go with all of, Tim Holtz has the distressed markers, the distressed inks, the distressed sprays, and they all work together
everything
with the same
coordinates.
colors, so you can use them all interchangeably together. So.
And there's the crayons too, the distressed crayons, so love that. And this little dauber, oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say they're just such a staple.
I
to
know,
have in
right?
here. So.
And then the little dauber is also great for stenciling. So we showed you blending, but you can also stencil with this, and it actually acts as like a dauber or a pouncer. So you can take your color, and you're not going to get, once again, you're not going to get those harsh lines. You can dab your color in there, and you can just pounce right on a stencil. And you're not going to get, like I said, it's going to be a nice even coverage there with no harsh lines. And I'm going to pull that up. Oops, if I can pull that up. You can see I've stenciled with this, and it acts as a pouncer. So, like I said, these kind of products
nice.
here
You're
go
just layering over.
Yeah, and like, you can see here, there's no harsh lines because this also works as a dauber. So you're not going to get. I know sometimes you get the harsh lines when you're using your blending tools. This round one isn't going to do that with you because with the square or the rectangular ones, you tend to get harsh lines if you don't do it right. But this round one, you pounce, you're not going to get those harsh lines.
Is that the secret, the round one?
The round one. According to Tim, that's the secret, right? So yes, you can use it for stenciling. And then I made these little tags here, and I don't know if you can really tell because I kind of covered them up. But what I did was I actually dipped my pouncer into paint, and I'll show you. Or not into paint, into, see, I'm thinking it's paint, into the ink. And let's do this here. Let's do the abandoned coral. I dipped it into my ink here. Just picked up some color there. And then I dipped it into the water, just a little dip. And then I pounced. Pounce. And when that dries, you're going to get a really cool, let me grab my tool here, a really cool effect from that wet sponge, which I don't know if you can tell on my tag, but that's what I did. So it kind of gives you a little bit of that watercolor effect because I obviously dipped it into water, so it's a little more diluted than if I had just gone straight from the ink pad right onto my paper. So another kind of fun little technique, if you will, by including your ink or your dauber in water after you've picked up some color.
That's awesome. I'll wait till the heat tool is off so people can hear us. But it kind of looks. I don't see any like watercolor. It looks more solid there. How did you get this one to be so solid? Was it just more ink?
I think this one I think had more ink, or less water on it. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what it was. See, this one.
Because I like the different effects that
Yeah,
you can get.
this
depending
one
on
is a
how
little
much.
more saturated because obviously this was, same technique, but obviously you're gonna get different effects because depending on how much water, how deep you go in, how much water it picks up. But this one, I obviously got more water, so it was more diluted to kind of pick up the actual texture of that foam brush.
Very cool.
Yeah, so
I'm seeing in the comments people cannot choose a favorite color of distress ink. It's really, really hard. It changes for me daily which one is my favorite. So
and what's great about these is you can also pick up the really cool storage container here, and these fit perfectly inside. I don't know if you can see, there's actually this kind of insert that goes inside of it, and it holds them nice and in place, and obviously it makes them look really pretty on display because you have all those colors showing through, so you don't have to search, with the solid lids. It's always like, what colors do I have in there? This, at a glance in the window, you can see all the colors you have, so you know what you're grabbing. And you can also, if you are working with a few colors and you don't want them scattered on your surface, they actually click into place, so you can kind of stack them, or if you're traveling and you just want to toss them in a bag, they click into place, and they're not going to go anywhere. So that's another really cool feature of these ink pads. And if you are a planner girl, these guys are perfect to take on the go with your planner. So I just grabbed one of our planners here. Now I have a mess on my mat. Let me just wipe that off. They're perfect size for any of your small stamps, which naturally are planner stamps in my book,
I'm
right?
curious, of those watching, do we have any planner people
Yeah,
here?
any planner
Have you
people?
stamped in your planners yet? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, look at it. It's like a perfect little stamp or ink pad for your little tiny stamps. You can, go through and you can stamp.
And that's not going to go through.
Nope.
So, just so you know, I've started using the color coding. In
Oh,
my
really?
planner.
Yay, that's
so
awesome.
That was from another live we did a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
that was from Jennifer Reyes on our creative team. That was one of her ideas on how to kind of organize yourself using
I was like,
the
how can
colored
I do
pencils.
that? And I figured it out.
Yeah.
It was, I'm doing it to track medicine that I have to do every other day, and I keep forgetting what day. So it's like the ones that are
Visual.
colored in. So just so you guys know what we're talking about is just taking a colored pencil or a colored pen and doing the corner of your planner on the day that you have something that you need a reminder for. You can color code all the different things that you're doing. So a little off subject, but it was in one of our last lives that we did here, and I started doing it.
I mean, you could pick a favorite stamp, and once again, like, you know, a red heart means one thing, a pink heart means another, so you could still kind of use this kind of idea with the mini ink pads and your stamp. So I just thought that they're tiny, so you can take them with you, travel with them.
Yeah, and then you can see we're clear, all clear on the back side, so you can stamp with these inks and not worry about too much leakage.
So yeah, these are great. Once again, they are the same exact version of, where did I put my ink pad, of the larger ones, just in a smaller, more compact version. So if you want to take these on the go, or you are a planner girl or planner guy and you want the inks, but you don't want to have all these inks in your bag or your work bag or whatever, you can just stack these guys up. Oops, stack. That one has the ink pad, that's why it's not stacking. You go ahead and you stack it up, and you can throw it in your bag, and you're good to go.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So really quick, if anyone's just joining us, we'll run through what we showed you, and then you can watch the replay for all of the details. But we were just showing the Tim Holtz Distress inks and a couple of different techniques that you can do. So can you kind of run through?
Yeah. So what I did was I took the blending tool here, and I actually blended the outside of my paper. And then since these ink pads have the raised felt pad, like the larger ones, you can go direct to surface with these. And I just inked the sides of my paper, just adding additional color to my paper. Then I took my blender and I went into a couple different colors and just blended them on my paper. Then I took my hand and some water and just kind of plop some water on my
that,
paper.
like, bleach effect on
Yeah,
there.
plop some water and then took my paper towel, dabbed it up to get that kind of cool water droplet effect. Then I used my stencil on top of here and used my my tool here as an actual dauber for stencils. Placed my stencil on paper, dabbed it out, got really nice coverage, and then showed you guys how you can use them in your planner because they're nice and tiny for your small little planner stamps. So lots of fun you can have with these stamps, and as Katie mentioned earlier, there's so many colors to choose from. I can't remember if there's 33 in the mini or if there's 56. There's a lot. There's a lot of colors to choose from. Lots of shades of pink, shades of red, shades of yellow, and they all have really fun names too.
Yeah, and then the storage case, of course.
Storage case.
You can store 12 inks of the minis in here. And what's really cool too that we didn't mention is when you get this, it has this little plastic thing in here that has grooves that keep them all in place. But you can take that plastic out and also store other things in here as well. So your clips,
everything.
yeah, you can put as many different types of things in here other than inks even that you'd like. So
and you can also watercolor with these. So you can take, you know, your ink, put it on an acrylic black, take a brush, and you can actually watercolor. So lots of fun you can have with the Distress inks minis. I mean,
just a
how
staple.
cute are they?
A
And how cute are
must-have.
they? Yeah.
Nazreen says she uses her inks in every project to make her own pattern papers. And perfect
That's
for pocket
awesome.
letters, yes.
Yes.
Totally agree.
Yes. And they're also great for on the go. You know, if you are, you know, on your lunch break at work, you know, try to slip in some crafting, and you, like I said, you don't want to bring your whole set of ink pads. You can grab these little guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, guys. I don't see any other questions. If there are any, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we'll be manning that and making sure we're answering them. But hopefully you guys have a great day, and you learned a couple of new techniques with the Tim Holtz Distress mini inks, and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, guys.